You're watching Poland Daily Business Edition. Tonight our guest is Witold Repetowicz of Defense24. Sir, welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Let us start from the conference, the Near East conference that happened in Warsaw several days ago. I can understand that smoke already cleared and we pretty much know what happened over there.
Actually, what could be expected, this conference had no impact, no serious effect. In fact, this is a good information because this conference was meant to create an anti-Iranian front composed of Israel and Sunni Arab countries from the Arab Gulf. Such a front exists already, but it was meant to make it formal because the cooperation between Sunni Arab countries and Israel is well known to everyone who is interested in Middle East, but it is not official. And it is not official because Saudi Arabia or Emirates has no formal relations with Israel. And one of the reasons that they don't have these relations is the Palestine issue. And because Palestine was not invited to this conference, and then when it was already invited, rejected the invitation. So all this so-called Kushner plan for Palestine couldn't be, in fact, taken seriously. So this front, anti-Iranian front, was not announced officially. There was no breakthrough in Israel-Arab relations because everyone knows that these countries talk to each other. So this is not a breakthrough. Informal talk is not a breakthrough.
The major problem, seeing from the European perspective, in the Near East is a Palestinian question. And did
I don't think so.
Participants of the conference try to decouple the Palestinian question from the many other Middle Eastern problems?
I don't think this is the most important problem. Of course, Palestinian problem is one of the important problems, but much more important is the problem of the future of Syria, and especially of what will happen in northern Syria. Palestine issue has no direct impact on what is going on in Europe, and if United States, now the situation has changed a little bit, but if such scenario would happen, that United States withdraw from northern Syria and Turkey is attacking the Kurds in northern Syria, so the Kurds has a lot of foreign fighters as prisoners of war. So these foreign fighters from Europe would come back to Europe, and they will make problems here just before the European elections. So this is much more important from the European point of view, because it will be a big threat, terrorist threat. And yet, even if it is not so much in the news, the war in Yemen. War in Yemen is a huge problem because there is a huge humanitarian disaster, and of course, on the other hand, it is also a business problem because some countries from Europe, like Great Britain, are selling arms to Saudi Arabia that are used to bomb children in Yemen. And and yet there are no refugees from Yemen coming to Europe because they don't have opportunity to do that. So it is neglected. But still, the disaster, the humanitarian disaster in Yemen is so huge that sooner or later it will hit back Europe.
But this is also a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran.
This is a proxy war, even more than proxy war, because Saudi Arabia and Emirates are participating directly in this war with their troops. With their troops and the troops that they
trained.
The mercenaries from South America, I think. Yeah.
So let's move to the Israel and the election questions. Will any decisions regarding the Near East will be taken after the Israeli election in April?
I don't know. Actually, I don't think so. What kind of decisions?
Like, what I've heard in this conference is that the plan exists, but is secret now, and they're waiting.
No, I don't think so. It is quite opposite. It is not that after the elections there will be implemented some plan or something like that. This announcement that there is any plan was meant to serve the elections. I don't believe in the Kushner plan. I don't believe that it is some breakthrough in this issue. I believe that it was announced to help Netanyahu to win the elections and to show to Israeli people that America has a plan and Netanyahu is a part of this plan, and the issue will be solved. Only they have to elect Netanyahu and Likud party. That now we can doubt, because if this happened, because the opinion polls are not very good for Netanyahu. This conference, all this conference was the part, unfortunately, was the part of Netanyahu election campaign, and it is not good that it happened in Poland, because we have nothing to do with Israeli elections. It is not our business.
That's true, but there is also, but apparently it's an issue of Israelis to deteriorate their relationships with Poland. How do you read this situation?
First of all, all responsibility for what happened is on the Israeli side, because Poland made no hostile steps against Israel, and Israel, first Netanyahu came to Poland and offended us, and also there was a lot of offensive remarks against us, and this shows only that that it is welcome in Israel to make offensive remarks against Poland, that there is a strong anti-Polish sentiment in Israel, and we must take it into account regarding our future relations, because if they don't like us, so to be friends, you need the both sides should want that, yes. So there are other countries in Middle East, Arab countries, that think about Poland in positive way, and maybe we should strengthen our relations with those countries that like us, not with those that don't like us, yes.
So there is opportunities in every mistake. You can learn from it. That's the conclusion.
Yes, and yet we must remember that about close relations between Israel and Russia. There is a lot of Russian language is the second language in Israel, and of course this has a big impact. So Israel is a friend of Russia. It is necessary to
not necessarily an ally, but definitely a very close country. Sir, thank you very much for this insight. The Middle Eastern politics will influence us this way or another, and once something interesting will happen, we will ask Witold Rzepetowicz of Defense24 to clear or explain this situation to us. That was it for Poland Daily Business Edition.